Civ 6, how to take over a city. Obviously, this works with almost every version of Civilization, including Civ 5, Civ 4, etc. So the first thing you want to do is weaken the city's defenses using ranged attacks. Bombardment, which would be um, the units that have the bombardment feature, like a boat, like a naval unit, or airstrikes to 0 HP. So you weaken the city's defenses to 0 HP, and while you're doing this, you're going to weaken the defensive units also. So if it has a tank in there or artillery, it's going to have reduced hit points as you bombard it or engage in airstrikes. Place air defense alongside your land units, which will be used for the assault. So you have certain land units which are going to assault the city. You want them to be protected, so you're going to put anti-aircraft alongside them, or naval units that have anti-aircraft. And you, depending on which version you're playing, you can fly aircraft, fighter jets, to create to intercept enemy aircraft. Assault the city using your strongest land units. I usually just use anything. Almost anything works, because once you've weakened them to 0 hit points, almost any one of your land units is going to work. I've used helicopters, mechanized infantry, modern armor, tanks, infantry. I think I've even used the rocket artillery. And these certain land units, like horses and helicopters, they can be far away and then come in at the last second after it's been bombarded, so they won't take any damage. So that's why helicopters are a good idea. And I believe mechanized infantry goes more spaces than modern armor, but I'm not sure. Alternatively, assault by sea. That's always good. You can get right next to the city easily. Pillage land to weaken the city's production. So your city has a production rate, sorry, the opponent's city, and you can pillage the land to reduce its production, and it won't produce enough food, and there'll be starvation, etc. Drop a nuke to weaken it and possibly kill defensive units. So the other thing you could do is create a large quantity of nukes. You really got to commit to nukes. Dropping just one often isn't going to work unless the enemy has nothing. You want to make like 20 or 30 or have ongoing production and just keep dropping them. In the older versions, you can completely wipe out cities. In the newer version, Civ 6, it's a little bit different. But it still works. It still works. And that's how you take over a city. It's easy to do. It will show you, this is a chance that you're going to win. However, I believe that the opponent's hit points are hidden when it's in the city. So what it reports is not accurate. I just always attack, and I probably win every time. So what you do, you use like 10 bombers, and you just keep on bombarding it. And maybe you'll have 1 or 2 naval units, not that necessary, and then a few ranged artillery. And after like 2 turns, you can knock any city down to 0 hit points. And then you only need 1 land unit, like a helicopter, modern tank, mechanized infantry, with full hit points, go in, take the city, and that's it. In the older versions, they had something called Stack of Death. You could have like 100 units on one tile, and the city could have 100 units on one tile. And when you attack, you always attack the strongest unit. It was always the strongest versus the strongest. So you would make a giant stack with 50 tanks and just go around mopping up on everything. Okay, so that's how you do it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. Go to cheapbooks.cc. Look for Civ 6 in the turn-based strategy. This was from August 2022. Check below, because I'll probably going to add more stuff. In fact, I'm going to add more stuff right now about how to take over a city. If you have any questions or comments, once again, please post below.